Our next performer, Meg Wiechnik, works in mental health and shares her story of hope and recovery often, but almost never focuses on her relationship with her body, as she will here tonight. She hopes that something you hear resonates with you, and she's honored to be a part of this brave band of presenters. She is performing her piece titled Layers.
A friend once told me depression feels like wearing a big, heavy jacket. It looks normal to the rest of the world, but you feel the tremendous weight. Every movement is slow. It seems to take every ounce of energy just to keep wearing it, and even more energy than you have to take it off. I am disgusting. I have ruined my body. I'm everything that is wrong with the world. I'm bad, and I made myself this way. I don't belong here. I don't deserve happiness or love. These are the lies depression whispers when I'm alone with it. Like an unwelcome party guest, it lingers too long and doesn't seem to take a hint. Always the last one standing. More belligerent than any of my friends who are long gone by now. It's late, but not too late. I'm in middle school, and I tell my mom life isn't worth living if I'm this unhappy. They tell me something's wrong with my brain, but don't worry, something out there will fix it. I wondered what it would feel like to be fixed. How would I know it worked? I don't know how to feel any other way. I lived alone with my depression for most of my young life. It was a secret, so naturally everything that flowed from it was a secret too. Self-harm and binge eating were the only coping skills I had, and I knew enough about the world to be ashamed. On medication, I felt like nothing, like a ghost walking through the halls of my high school. I didn't trust anyone, and I was terrified of being hospitalized, so I lied about everything. I lied and said I felt fine when I didn't, that the meds were working when I couldn't feel anything at all, that I was taking them when I had secretly stopped. I flushed them all down the toilet and asked my parents to refill the prescriptions. Just one more secret to carry. Things got worse, then better and better still. I remember feeling like I was coming up to the surface of a pool of water and breathing for the first time. The beginning of a new life at 16, when I fell in love with art. And then again at 18, when I went away to college. Depression packed itself in my suitcase and came along with me. Becoming a person and a woman at the same time has always felt challenging. My mother is a wonderful woman, but she doesn't exactly ooze feminism. She encouraged blending in, plucking eyebrows, staying thin, and covering up imperfections. That's how she stayed safe. The combination of binge eating through my teens and heavy medication side effects caused me to gain a substantial amount of weight. But it wasn't until I lost some in college that I really started hating my body. People congratulated me as though I'd won something, and I felt more self-conscious than I had 80 pounds before. Depression and self-loathing followed me to China, too. During college, I spent a semester immersing myself in this wonderful new culture. As one of very few foreign people where I lived, I drew a lot of attention. In the best shape of my life, I was bigger than most women there. This dress is an extra large. I began binging and purging to regulate out of control feelings of loneliness and isolation. Nobody ever knew. I finally fit into my sister's hand-me-down jeans. More than 2 years after I returned to Boston, still binging and restricting to try to manage these out-of-control big emotions I have all the time. At last, I asked for help with my eating disorder. Living in this body has been painful and shameful, and I'd really rather have no body at all. When someone compliments the way I look, I think, well, they don't see the real me. If only they knew. I am ugly on the inside, held together with paper clips and chewing gum. I know what it's like to be a fat person in this world. People treat you differently. It's not fair. It doesn't feel like success. It feels like an undeserved advantage. This body has been through so much. I knew it would happen. This body has been through so much, with scars and stretch marks to prove it. I'm still really struggling to love my body and myself, and it's almost harder to let someone else try. I told him, if I had it my way, we'd all be floating brains without bodies. And he was shocked because he thinks I'm beautiful. It feels deceitful to look so very different on the outside than I feel on the inside, and I just want him to understand. Does the inside match the outside? Maybe it doesn't matter, as long as I'm honest. I am good, I am brave, I am enough, and you are too.